Nothing gets our hearts racing more than defeating a huge video game boss. There you are, hacking away at a thing that's so much larger than you. It feels great to take down something that's so big and win against all odds. Here are 10 massive video game bosses you need to beat at least once. And spoiler warning, of course. The latest God of War is a masterpiece. They completely revamped the gameplay in a great way. However, we did miss fighting the massive video game bosses the series is known for. Luckily, this problem gets solved after the first 10 hours or so. After a long trek through the mountain, the game suddenly throws a huge dragon at you. The fight itself is extremely epic, and we love the design of the dragon. The boss goes through different phases and you won't be able to throw your axe to damage him. You finally beat him with the help of your son, which is an extremely epic moment. How could we make a boss video without mentioning a game from the Souls series? Demon's Souls has a huge boss in the form of the Storm King. This massive flying manta ray is so big that he covers the entire sky when he's above you. The boss fight itself is pretty easy, as you simply need to shoot arrows at him. You also need to take care of the much smaller manta rays that follow him around. It's kind of hard to miss such a huge target, but it does take a while before this giant goes down. Even today, it's still quite a spectacle to behold. Castlevania Lords of Shadow was a great game with some very interesting bosses. You encountered the biggest boss pretty early on in the form of Stone Idol Titan. It's not easy to take this gigantic enemy down. You need to stun the boss before you can climb onto him. Then quickly make your way up his legs while he tries to shake you off. His kneecaps are glowing weak spots you need to hit for massive damage. Repeat this a couple of times and victory is yours. It's great to see this rather difficult enemy crumble into a pile of rubble. We're sure Kingdom Hearts 3 will have some incredible boss fights. But since that game isn't out, we'll have to look at the earlier games. The dark side boss from Kingdom Hearts dwarfs Sora with its huge body. You encounter this boss in multiple games in the series, and each fight is pretty epic. However, it's not that hard to beat this guy. You can't rely on your spells since the boss has a high resistance to magic. This means you simply need to use your Keyblade. Just keep hacking away at his limbs and this giant will go down in a few minutes.
Battle stations! Get to your battle stations!
The Lost Planet series is all about fighting massive creatures on an icy planet. Red Eye is one of the biggest bosses in Lost Planet 2. This Category G monster looks like an oversized insect. It's pretty scary thanks to its many teeth and disgusting body. You need to take him on while riding on a train that's loaded with all sorts of heavy weapons. The fight itself is incredibly straightforward. Essentially, all you have to do is wait until red eye surfaces and then unload on him. Rinse and repeat until the chopper is ready, and then just get the hell out of there. The first boss in Metal Gear Rising is not too much of a challenge, but boy, is it satisfying. Platinum Games really knows how to make a good boss fight. You feel like such a badass when you take on the huge Metal Gear. We really like the rock song that plays in the background while you unleash your sword attacks. It's a pretty easy fight with loads of QuickTime events. This battle really showcases the incredible strength of our favorite cyborg ninja. Wouldn't it be awesome if we got a sequel to this game one day?
You gotta be kidding me.
Final Fantasy XV has a few bosses that are larger than life, especially the Titan boss you encounter in Chapter 4. When we first saw Titan, we were blown away. This game really takes place on an epic scale. The battle itself turned out to be less interesting, as it's incredibly easy. The Titan is a slow-moving enemy, but a powerful one, so you really need to dodge and parry his attacks. It might be an easy fight, but it's still one of the greatest moments in the game.
It's over!
Asura's Wrath is a great game for gamers that like massive bosses. It even has a boss that's the size of an entire planet. Wyzen has been Asura's rival for over 12,000 years. In his final form, he's roughly the same size as Earth. His sheer mass is certainly terrifying, but he never fully uses it against you. He completely underestimates the power of Asura and tries to crush you with his finger. It turns out to be a big mistake and you make quick work of him. This game shows that bigger isn't always better. Shadow of the Colossus is full of incredibly huge bosses. The 13th Colossus is our favorite boss by far. The largest creature in the game is ironically also the most peaceful one. This guy won't even attack you if you come close. He only wants to get you off his back so that he can continue cruising through the desert. The sheer scale and massive wingspan of this boss never ceases to amaze us. Such a shame we had to kill this gentle giant in order to progress the story. Nier Automata is the game that put Platinum Games back on the map after making several licensed games that didn't perform very well. The over-the-top battles in Nier Automata belong to some of the greatest we have ever seen. If there's one boss in this game that's epic, it has to be Grun. This boss is so incredibly huge and you need to use all kinds of different tactics to take him down.
The only known record of this machine life form is a lone sighting 320 years ago.
Over the course of the fight, he turns out to be even bigger than you expected. This is really one of the greatest boss battles of the last few years. Did you beat any of these bosses? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.